All right, boys, we are back, and it's time to continue year 2 with your Ottawa Senators. Up here at the trade deadline, fighting for that playoff position. We have 67 points. We technically are in a spot, but things need to happen. Decisions need to be made, and I left you guys with a vote in the last video. There was 3 different options. First, I could make some trades. Basically, Clark MacArthur and Andrew Hammond, they just simply must go. We need to pull the trigger on that trade. I could believe in this roster. I could make the massive changes that I want at the draft because the players that you guys want me to trade have multiple years left, so it's not the end of the world to wait. Or I could just blow it up altogether. Basically, everybody who's over the age of like 28 years old, trade them away for young talent, and maybe get a top 10, top 5 pick this year. Seems like you guys wanted me to trade away Clark MacArthur and Andrew Hammond for the longest time now, right? So I really can't ignore this anymore. And you guys were bringing up Taylor Hall as a potential trade bait that I could go after that would make sense for this season, make sense for the future, and also be somewhat realistic. I have one comment that I'd like to read here. Taylor Hall has trade rumors about him all the time. Now that his potential is dropped, right, remember, because he's 4.5 Red Star, not only will the trade value be lower, but Edmonton could be disappointed on his development so far. Okay, that kind of makes sense. And remember, they don't have a Connor McDavid, so it's not like that duo is set up for the future. It's still just Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, but they have Everly and Nail Yakupov, right? They also have a goalie problem. Solution, Andrew Hammond. And they already have skilled wingers in Yakupov and Eberle, so they could use some grit and experience on the left wing, MacArthur. Sens would also be on the different, or in a different conference. Yeah, that would make sense, so it wouldn't come back to bite us in the ass unless we made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. And they'd also have cap space for MacArthur and Hammond instead of Taylor Hall, $6 million. Okay, so Taylor Hall, that would be a interesting trade. Let's go there and let's see what it's all about. I already did some pre-scouting, showed you guys all the left wingers in the NHL last year. The Detroit Red Wings, they just weren't going to make sense just because I don't want Zetterberg. There's no way I could get Gustav Nyquist. Why would Detroit trade away a guy who's 26, 87 overall with 7 years left on a good deal for somebody who's that good, right? That just doesn't make sense. He's on the same kind of contract as Zetterberg for 5 years longer. Tatar would be the guy we can go after, but I couldn't figure out the cap space to do that, right? So Detroit's not going to work. But the Edmonton Oilers, all right, so Taylor Hall, there he is. There's his individual stats. The only thing that scares me is, imagine he stays at 87, 86 overall. I've never seen Taylor Hall drop to 4.5 Red Star, but I think the reason was because, look, last year he must have been injured. He only played 48 games played, 8 goals, 26 assists, or 26 points for a -14. That's probably why he dropped, right? So he had an injury year, and then this year he's only got 14 goals in 61 games played. Again, they're not a playoff team. He's got no playoff experience. Yeah, I could kind of understand why they would be thinking about trading him. He's 24, which is not old, but it's also not exactly young. They should be winning with guys like that, right? So you still have the Nuge down the middle, Leon Draisaitl, so 1-2 down the middle, and then 2 right wingers. Yeah, it kind of does make sense, and they get like a big tough guy left wingers. All right, so we'll try to go after Taylor Hall. Now, I'm going to try to make this trade as realistic as I want because I don't want to give up our first overall pick. Worst case scenario, I trade this for Taylor Hall, then all of a sudden we start to lose games, we miss the playoffs. Yes, I still have Taylor Hall, but this draft pick becomes like a top 10 or something like that. I don't want that to happen, okay? So we'll try to make this go through without the first overall pick, which means I'm going to have to give up an arm and a leg here to get Taylor Hall, all right? So Clark MacArthur, he would go, there you go. That would go through cap-wise anyways. Andrew Hammond, that would make sense because they need a goaltender. We're going to hold on to Robin Lehner. 2 years left, $4 million, 28 years old. Yeah, I don't want to say I could, see that going through, but they clearly need a goaltender, even though we've seen this guy Brissot tear it up with the Edmonton Oilers in the previous GMOs, right? So Victor Fast and Ben Scrivens. Now, if we're going to go for a playoff run, I'd rather get Scrivy, but he's got a little bit more trade value. Fast won't even go through, so I think I'd have to go. Scrivy wouldn't go through either. All right, so hang on a second here. So Andrew Hammond covers Scrivy's trade value, so Hammond for Scrivy would go through. And then, so that'll add on to MacArthur. They want both of these players as well, so that's good news. All right, so defenseman, LeBlanc, Lanoy. This is the thing. I might have to give up one of these guys, like a defenseman to sweeten the deal for the Edmonton Oilers. I don't want to give up LeBlanc. He was a second-round pick. Hang on. Lanoy Offensive defenseman, 4th round. Yeah, see, I think I might do that. Is he left-handed? I forgot to check. Left-handed. Yeah, see, LeBlanc is left-handed offensive defenseman, so I could trade away one of those guys because Edmonton wants defense, but I'm not giving up any of my core players. So you know what? I'll throw Lanoy in there. There you go. All right. Gonna have to get some trade value or some cap coming back the other way. Hang on a sec. What else do we have that we can give up? Stone Ward, Chason. You know what? Chason might be one. Young, big power forward that could play on the wing for the bottom 6, or he could even play the left side in the top 6. Just trying to, do they want him? They want him as well? Yeah, they do want him. I'm just throwing players in here that I can see for right now, okay? Hoffman, no. Pupil. See, I got to throw Pupil in there as well. Hang on. Centers, no. Curtis Lazar, he's not going anywhere. Konecki, not going anywhere. No. Pajot, hold on to Pajot. The reason Pupil has to go in is because I want to make this realistic. If they're going to give up Taylor Hall, they got to give something back. Now, hang on. Cap space. Is there anything we can do for cap here? Somebody who's got a very... Nikitin... 20 years left, 1 year left. Would that make it go through? He was in the AHL, wasn't he? Yeah, he's in the AHL, so that wouldn't count. Ference. Coberley. Ooh, Coberley, 3 years left. I don't want that, though. You know what? Hang on. Skaters given away. Is there anybody with a little bit of cap here that's on the NHL squad? Coberley is on the NHL squad. That would... Ooh, you know what? Eric Cole, 1 year left. Because he could be the replacement for Chason. All right, let me just see why this is not going through. Hang on. What to reject is Edmonton would have too many players in the organization. All right, so that's easy to fix. So I go with Gazdic as an enforcer for the playoffs just in case. Yeah, all right. Just get a depth player here that can fill up. Ooh, and it will go through. Interesting. All right, so let me just think about this. Taylor Hall is going to replace MacArthur, so there's the roster spot. Scrivby is going to replace Hammond as the backup goaltender. That's a roster spot. This guy is the prospect defenseman we got to throw in to help out with Taylor Hall. Chason is going to go in there and replace Eric Cole. And then Pupil is also kind of for Taylor Hall because I want to get a second-round pick in there or something. What would be more valuable, Lanoy or the second rounder? The second rounder. All right, so I'll keep that prospect defenseman. I'll give him a second-round pick. And then Chason. See, I don't really necessarily want Eric Cole back, but he wouldn't be a bad depth player for the playoffs, and I want to give the Edmonton Oilers something here, right? So they're really only giving up Taylor Hall, because Eric Cole, 1 year left, that doesn't mean much. Scrivby is a goaltender that's not going to be with them. Gazdic, maybe a tough guy, okay? So it's only really Taylor Hall. They're getting MacArthur, they're getting a starting goaltender, they're getting a second liner, they're getting a bottom 6 winger, and they're getting a prospect winger of the future to cover for Taylor Hall. This is the big one. I don't want to give up Pupil. He's got 23 goals, but you know what? If you guys want me to get that first line left wing, I got to do my best to make sure that it's a fair trade. And I know his trade value is low, but it's still Taylor Hall, former first overall pick. All right, so let's see if this goes through. Hall, Scrivby, Eric Cole, and Gazdic for Clark MacArthur, Andrew Hammond, a second-round pick this year, Chason, and Matt Pupil. Will it go through? Yes, it did. I doubt anybody will think Edmonton came out on the short end of the stick, so it's a done deal. All right, boys, so I traded away our prospect, Matt Pupil. That one hurt, but in return, we got a 24 overall first-line left wing in Taylor Hall. All right, you got to give up a little to get a little. So now the conversation can switch to, oh, Johnny, you could have gotten Taylor Hall for so much less. I know that. I wasn't trying to screw the computer over. I was trying to give them something. So let's just go through the line changes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 works there. And then forwards, Gazdic. No, you're going to go down there. Greening. Yeah, Greening can stay up. Is that enough people? All right, so I'm going to have to do all this again. Hang on a second here, boys. All right, so Taylor Hall, he's on the first line left wing. And who can we play on the fourth line? Eric Cole, there you go. So Eric Cole, I'm going to switch him with Joel Ward, though. Get the power forwards on the third line for a checking line. All right, and goaltenders, Robin Lehner with Ben Scrivens. All right, there you go. Lazar. Yeah, we can keep that all the same. So let's just go through the lineups here and put Taylor Hall on the power play. There you go. 4-man power play. Sorry, Stone. You're being replaced by Taylor Hall. He's getting second line power play time on 4-on-4, though, because Bobby Ryan is 89 overall, okay? Going to keep those guys together. You guys, I don't need to put Eric Cole on the penalty kill. He's a power forward. 4-on-4 lines. Taylor Hall, get your ass in there. All right, very good. Extra attacker. No. I'll leave that. And then Robin Lehner and shootout Taylor Hall. Get in there. You can help get me a few more points so we can make the playoffs, all right? So there you go, boys. Taylor Hall is now a part of our team, and we have traded away Pumple from our AHL squad. So all we have now is Pajot. All right, and how many more years does Pajot have? Is it 1 year left or is it multiple? 3 years left, so we don't have to trade him this year. Okay, that's fine. All right, so there you go, boys. Now, hopefully, we don't miss out on the playoffs. That's going to be really bad if we do, but you know what? It's not the end of the world. We still got Taylor Hall for the future. It's just players like Joel Ward and Winnick, I think, only have 1 year left, but I can deal with them not being moved. So hang on 1 second. So before we start the simulation, I just want to go back, and because we made the trade for Ben Scrivens, we have a backup now. We have an official backup. We're going to turn back on the automated goalie rotations because Robin Lehner is going to get the majority of the starts right now. But if he needs a little bit of rest and Ben Scrivens can get in there, I just want the game to take care of it, all right? So, boys, I listened to you. Now let's see if you guys are the geniuses or if I got forced into a decision that I shouldn't have made. If we don't make the playoffs, I don't know, man. I would have preferred not to make that trade just yet because I could have done some damage at the draft and really figured out exactly what I needed. But at the same time, you know, you guys have been calling for that trade for the first line left wing. There comes a time where you just have to pull the trigger and then move forward, all right? So we did it. Pumple is no longer a part of our future. It is Taylor Hall, Kyle Turris, and Bobby Ryan on the first line. And our first game against Vancouver, we lost. Not good. All right, so 33, 27, and 2. We got to keep those regulation losses down as much as we can. Need to get some early wins, especially against teams in our division. All right, because you saw our division was kind of weak. We got to beat teams in our division. So Phoenix, come on now. Friggin' Arizona. I just called them Phoenix. Holy crap. San Jose, Anderson, don't come back to bite us in the ass. You son of a bitch. Craig Anderson. All right, so 34, 28, and 2. Let's keep an eye on this, all right? Calgary, we're going to get back to the Eastern Conference now. Come on, get a win against Calgary. Don't lose 2 regs in a low. There you go. All right, good. All right, so Toronto Maple Leafs, Tampa Bay Lightning. Here comes some teams that are in our division. These are big games, man. We got to win them. All right, we're competing with Toronto for a playoff spot. Seems like, we're competing with Tampa Bay. Seems like they're a lot better, though. Rangers, competing with them. Toronto, competing with them. They're going to be in the playoffs, competing with them. Oh, my God. And then back to Vancouver, right? So I don't care if we lose to Montreal. I'd like to beat the Rangers. I'd like to beat Tampa. Okay, so we can lose to Tampa and Montreal. But if we can get 4 wins against Toronto twice, Rangers once, and Columbus, we'd be in a good spot, all right? So it's not about how many wins we get over the stretch. It's about the teams that we do beat. So Toronto Maple Leafs, big freaking game. Come on now, boys. Big game. Don't lose in regulation. Try to beat them in reg. Don't lose. Oh, my God, 4-1. Taylor Hall, why aren't you getting goals for me, you son of a bitch? If Clark MacArthur was on the squad, he would have come back and fought his old team right there. All right, so Tampa Bay, obviously I want to get points, but they look like a playoff team already. Only 23. Yeah, there's another regulation. Oh, is that a regulation win? That might have been an overtime loss right there. Okay. Man, not good, boys. Not good. The 30 losses on the year, not looking good. This is what I did not want to have happen, but whatever, I got to run with it. So we're still technically in a playoff spot. It's Toronto and Boston that we got to stay ahead of. Do we have another game against Boston? 2. Oh my God. Last 2 games of the season are huge. And we have another 2 games against Toronto. So we just lost that one in regulation to them. All right, Rangers, they're going to be a division or a wild card team, it looks like. Come on now. Don't lose in regulation. Come on now, Ottawa. You got to be able to pull it together here at the end of the year, just like in real life. Come on. Oh, my God. Overtime loss. All right, so we got a point out of that one. That's good. It's really Toronto and Boston that we want to stay ahead of. I don't think Detroit can catch us. Yeah, all right, so huge game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. They get this. It's a 4-point game, basically. You got to beat them in regulation. There you go. Was it? I can't tell if it was regulation or not. It might have been. Hang on, let's see. Did they get a point? No, it was. It was a regulation win, so we beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in regulation. That's huge. All right, so the Montreal Canadiens, it doesn't matter. Columbus Blue Jackets, yeah, that does matter. Yeah, that's going to matter. All right, hang on a second here. Let's see. Montreal Canadiens, it doesn't matter. We lost in regulation, okay. Mark Mathod's been injured with a mild concussion. Estimated return is March 20th. I'm just going to replace player. He's only going to miss 1 game here. Maybe, yeah, okay, he didn't even miss 1 game. God damn it. Why can't you just remember that for me? Mathod, get in there. All right. Man, we got to get some help here at the end of the season. Really do. I so want to make the playoffs, man. Come on now, Taylor Hall. You got to tear it up for me. All right, so the Columbus Blue Jackets, wild card team. Can we beat them? Come on, very similar records here. Come on, you got to win in reg. Oh, my. And we lost in regulation. Holy shit, man. I hate when we start playing like this. Look at this. See, boys? Ever since I traded for Taylor Hall, look at this. 1 win, 2 wins, 2, 3... We've gone 3 and 5 fucking 7. We've gone 3 and 7 since acquiring Taylor Hall. Oh, man. This is why I hate forcing trades. Oh, get your first line left wing, man. You got to get it. And then what happens? If we don't make the playoffs here, we've just given up a shit ton of assets that we could have turned into young players for the future. God damn, we got to start winning some games. All right, so back in the West here. Go up until the Toronto Maple Leaf game because the Montreal Canadiens... They're the first in our division. Come on now. We can't lose in regulation, man. We got to string together. We got to get a 3-game winning streak going. Come on. Let's go. There you go. Big game against the Vancouver Canucks. And these ones don't matter if we win in overtime or shootout. We just need points, man. Keep the damn regulate. Oh, St. Louis, they're a good team. Oh, no. Yes! There's 2 in a row. Why are you guys playing good against teams that we don't need to beat? We need to beat the Eastern Conference teams. Chicago, come on. Oh, my God. We won 3 in a row in the West against Vancouver, St. Louis, and Chicago. All right, Montreal Canadiens, first place team in our division. Can we beat them? 31 regulation losses. We already got 3 wins right there. That's huge. Oh, my God, 4 in a row. Oh, my God, that's a godsend right there. All right, so I said we were 3 and 7. We're back up to 7 and 7 now. Oh, my God, come on. Ooh, and look at the Toronto Maple Leafs. They've really fallen off a little bit. Yes, they have. Holy shit, our division is working out perfectly for us. Those last 2 games against the Boston Bruins could be the most epic games the entire year. We might have to do slow simulation for them. So it really doesn't matter with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't think they're going to catch us. Even if they catch us, they're not going to catch the other teams that are going for wild card. Because Boston would pass them, yeah. So what about the wild card teams? What's the wild card position right now? Wild card looks around like 70, 78, 77 points. Columbus and Carolina. Carolina's coming up. Islanders, they're coming up. Islanders have a big game there as well. So Carolina and the Islanders, and then Toronto right here. We got to beat Toronto, all right, for beating us in the playoffs last year. Doesn't matter if they get... Yes! There's another win. Holy shit. I take it back, boys. Maybe, that just took some time for the team to get used to each other in the locker room. But now they have hope. They've won 5 in a row. Beautiful. All right, so Carolina, looks like they've fallen out of wild card contention. Yeah, down to 77 points. We got 86. Yeah, I think we're okay here, boys. This has been a perfect time to go on this winning streak. So let's just go ahead these 3 games here, all right? Let's go ahead these 3 games. Got plenty of space now. We just got to start getting some... There you go. Oh, my God. No, I don't want to jinx it just yet, man, but this is better than I was thinking before that Western streak started. This is much better. Oh, my God. Hell yes, Ottawa. Fucking hey. Beautiful. Robin Lehner is flourishing in this starting position. Oh, man, the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, all right, fine. There you go. There's our reg loss. Whew! What a perfect time to go on a winning streak. My God. So I take it back, boys. Taylor Hall might have been doing something for us. But after going 3 and 7, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We won 7 in a row. So back up to 10 and 7. All right, 3 games remaining. Florida, they are below 500. So we won't even look at the record yet for Boston. Hang on a second here. Let's get through the Florida Panthers. Come on, get us a win. Get us a win. Get us a win. They're below 500. Get us a win. Hey, regulation loss. All right, hang on a second here. Regulation loss. 43, 33, and 4. Should not be good enough to make the playoffs. But we have 90 points. And technically, the Boston Bruins could only catch us, tie us. I don't know. Wins in regulation. I don't know. We have, we have more wins, though, than them already. That's interesting. I don't know. What's the wild card spot? 90 points. 84. We're in the playoffs, boys. It doesn't matter if it's a wild card spot or division. We're in the playoffs for some reason. I mean, if it was, look at the Western Conference. Already 96, 96, 97, 97. The wild card is 96 points, right? For us, we would be 6 points behind the wild card if we were in the Western Conference. The Eastern Conference was weak this year, and it's helped us out tremendously. I don't even need to do a slow simulation for these 2 games. We're going to be in the playoffs. All right, so good job, boys. We're back in the playoffs. Hell yeah. A tough year. We had to run through the injuries. But you know what? We made it. Hang on a second here. I don't like how we've lost 3 in a row coming into the playoffs now. That's not good. Last game against the Boston Bruins. Come on. Finish the season on a high note. Cody CC's been injured with back spasms. Estimated return is April 25th. Goddamn injuries, man. Just couldn't get through the last game of the season without, oh man, we're coming into the playoffs losing 4 in a row as well. We are a streaky team. Let's see, 90 points, so we've still finished ahead of the Boston Bruins. All right, and I think that's going to make us face the Tampa Bay Lightning in round number 1, and it is. So, the Ottawa Senators, boys, back into the playoffs. Did we have a better year this year than last year? No, man. Made the playoffs last year with 108 points. This year, only 90 points. We had, oh my God, we had only 2 less goals, though, and we had a better goals against. So it was a weird year, man. Statistically, a weird year. He wanted 43 wins. We only got 40. Yeah, come on. We're in the playoffs. Give me a break. All right, so hang on one second. So here we are, up at the playoffs. We made it back-to-back years, the Ottawa Senators. It was a tough year with injuries. Cody CC's been injured, but you know what? We're there. So let's go through the season here and take a look at the stats and see who did what for us. All right, so I need somebody to do the quick math for Taylor Hall because I didn't record his stats before or after I traded for him. So how many stats or how many points did he get in the remaining games played? I'd like to know. So the points, 13th in the NHL. Goals for per game, 16th in the NHL. Could be much better. Goals against per game, that's good. We're a good defensive team, it looks like. Methot and Braun, again, I'm telling you, man. Those guys, they help out. Power play percentage, 21st in the NHL. That could be better. Penalty kill percentage, 14th. That could be better. A home record, 22-18-1. Our away record, 21-17-3. And our last 10, 6-4-0. But remember, it's 4 in a row that we just lost, right? Before that, we actually were doing pretty good. Stat Central, player stats for the season. Let's see. So how many goals did he? I think he had like 14 goals and 60-something games played this year was Taylor Hall, right? So let's see here. Forwards. All right, so Bobby Ryan, only 58 points this year, 27 goals. But again, I know what I'm going to hear, that it was because of Clark MacArthur on the first line. Taylor Hall only got like 4 goals in the remaining like 20 games or something like that, I think, guys. Kyle Turris, 51 points. So we're definitely looking for more out of these guys next year. They were plus players, though. All right, so that's what I'm talking about defensively. They're getting it done. Hoffman, 49 points. That's great for second liners. Zibanejad, 46. That's great. And Stone, 42. Those guys got good numbers for second liners. They're plus players. That's what I need if these guys are going to grow, right? I need plus seasons with a decent amount of points and playoff runs. Joel Ward, Winnick, Lazar. Let's see what Curtis Lazar did. 13 goals, 27 points. That's a great season for Curtis Lazar. Last year, he had 26 points, 9 goals. This year, 27 points, 13 goals. So as long as he's getting some ice time and getting some points, I like that. And Eric Cole and Chris Neal were our minus players, but we have a plus team here, man. Look at our defensive core. Carlson, 60 points in 71 games played. Cody Ceci, 44 points. So you guys saying to play Cody Ceci this year? I think he got enough time, right? Up from 23 points last year to 44 plus 20. And then look at Braun. Ooh, Braun and Method were actually minus. Who is Weirkosh? Oh, it was all the guys who got the line with Carlson. Right, when the injuries happened. Methot was a plus 9. Phillips was a plus 8. All right, and goaltenders. So I gave Robin Lehner not a full year. He only played 59 games played. Actually, that is a lot. Never mind. He's only like 5 to 10 games off from a regular starter. So that's not bad. And really good save percentage, 92.71. He's still an 85 overall. 6 shutouts. But again, with good stats like this, hopefully he's going to grow. Look at last year, 22 games played up to 59. Last year, only 9 wins. This year, 30. His goals against was 2.2, and his save percentage was better, all right? So hopefully that enables Robin Lehner to grow for us. We're looking for that. And speaking of growth, let's just take a quick look at the progress reports. All right, let's see this. Oh, yeah, we got a lot of growth here. So Greening went down. Carlson went up by 11. Holy shit. He grew that much? Hang on a sec. Let me see. Yeah, he's continuing to grow. So all that, all those points and all that ice time is helping out Erik Karlsson, which is good for us. Taylor Hall, that's why this year he was at an 89 overall. Hopefully that jumps back up for next year. His deking, so just bad times in Edmonton. So you know what? That trade kind of does make sense because if he was progressively getting worse over the year, it was just like they had enough of him. You know what I mean? Screw this guy. He's always, or he's not getting it done. We're not in the playoffs again. So, you know, that's good news for us. Goaltenders, Lehner didn't grow. All right. AHL, let's see Pajot. Pajot had to grow. Harper, Wigstra, Pajot. He went up by 2. He's 81 overall. He should be playing in the NHL. It does make sense. All right. So there you go. And last but not least, let's take a look at the playoff tree to see who else has made it into the year 2 playoffs here. Our rivals, the Toronto Maple Leafs, looks like they haven't made it. So in the East, you have Montreal versus Columbus, the Tampa Bay Lightning versus your Ottawa Senators, Pittsburgh versus Boston. That's going to be a good one. The Rangers versus Washington. Again, that'll be a good one. In the Western Conference, LA versus Minnesota, Anaheim versus Vancouver, St. Louis versus Calgary, and Nashville versus Chicago. You know, that's actually a stacked Western Conference. A lot of very good teams in there. I know LA didn't make the playoffs this year, all right, but they still have a good team in this. And I mean, LA, Minnesota, Anaheim, Vancouver, St. Louis, Calgary, Nashville, Chicago. That's only one team off of what happened in the NHL this year with the LA Kings. So pretty good, man. All right, boys. So let me know what you guys think about our line changes. Taylor Hall, should we play him on the first line? Because the Tampa Bay Lightning, they look like a top squad who had more than 100 points this year, and I want to beat them. So what should we do? Let me know, and I will see you guys in round 1 of year 2.